start activity. Yelele na P2B. Morning, noon and night, P2B. Get your PVC, Obi. If not to make a choice, on a P2B. Ebelebe bola, everywhere na P2B. Ebelebe bola, everywhere na P2B. Kowara yaka, Koporo yaka, Kowara yegu. We a Masarawa, we a Masatapi. Jofu, Batofu. Obedience is better than sacrifice.
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 Mama, Papa, wear your PVC.
Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Brother, sister, show me your PVC.
Obedience is better than sacrifice.
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 Mama, Papa, wear your PVC.
Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Brother, sister, show me your PVC.
Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Kerenke. Kowara yaka, Koporo yaka, Kowara yegu. We a Masarawa, we a Masatapi. Jofu, Batofu,
Hello, good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, Obedience. My fellow compatriots, both in Nigeria and in diaspora. I welcome you to another edition of the show, Review of Tuesday Live Debates. My name is Tochukwu Ilo, I'm presenting for and on behalf of Team Obi That's Live. Yes, I'm smiling so much today. And someone would ask, why do you smile this much today? Well, not forget that this is the first day of our review in the year 2023. The last time I saw you was way back last year. Oh yes, way back last year. And to the glory of God and by His mercy also, we have successfully walked into the year 2023. It was a difficult time for many Nigerians in the year 2022. A whole lot happened. Many lost hope. Many clinged to last hope. People prayed. People fasted. Because we could not wait to leave that year. Well, if it works that way, well, one will say that this is a new year and there is great hope for a change. I want to congratulate you for making it into the year 2023. I wish you congratulate me too. It hasn't been easy. This is the 5th day in this year, and to the glory of God, getting closer to the long-awaited presidential election, scheduled to hold on the 25th day of next month. Oh yes, it is that close. Many months back, we are thinking, oh, it's quite a long time, but wow, somehow it's just close by. And I hope you've got your PVC ready. Joining me tonight to review the debate that held 2 nights ago is my good friend and compatriot, a fellow obedient, Obina, who always religiously joins us from Edo, Benin City precisely. Obina, happy New Year to you.
Good evening, Mr. Tilo, Nigeria at large.
Good to have you.
Happy New Year. 2023 we have come. It is right about the time Nigeria will get the change that has been so much sought all through the year 2022. We are right here in the year of the obedient, the year for the transformation of our great country, Nigeria. So we are happy to be here today again. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see the face of uh, my co-compatriot, Mr. Tilo, and as well as seeing you all joining us and viewing this program online. God bless you for being obedient, and thank you because we know we are already victorious in the forthcoming election, 25th of February. Thank you very much, Mr. Tilo.
Yes, thank you, my brother Webina. And God bless you too, and bless your household. Bless everybody who is related to you and who sees you time to time. Let me welcome again our viewers, those that participate in this program, and those that listen and watch this program. Without you, it would not be complete. And I wish you a happy new year, that this 2023 will be a prosperous year. Your home and your heart will be filled with joy, and Nigeria will be great again. Yes, do not forget that we are going to make a very important decision in this country on the 25th of February, which is next month. You will be part of it. You have to be part of it. Refuse to be scared, refuse to be confused, refuse to be disenfranchised. So you pick your BBC, come out on that day, and go to your polling unit where you cast your vote for Peter Obi. Yes, for Peter Obi, because a vote for Peter Obi is a vote for sincere and real change in our country, Nigeria. It's a vote for a new Nigeria, a glorious nation, a nation that will move from consumption to production. Yes, and you'll be part of it. A nation that will take its rightful position amongst the committee of nations in the world. It's important that you be part of that decision. Let no vote be lost. Let no vote be considered to be wrongly cast or not cast at all. So you be part of it. Yeah, to today's topic, we are looking at the topic that was discussed last 2 nights, judiciary reform. Judiciary reform. Of the major candidates in this coming presidential election, everybody that was looked at, reviewed, to find out what's their standing as regards judicial reform in Nigeria. That particular debate showed clearly that Peter Obi is not just coming to bring about judicial reform in Nigeria, but he has done it. Okay, you know, when God designs something, it begins to show in a way that you will not have any reason to doubt that this is an act of God. Before I take you back to a little of this history, I would like to remind us that judiciary in Nigeria needs reform, really. And when we talk about reform, it simply means, in layman language, that you are reworking what has been existing with the intention to bring out the best of this potential, make it standardized, and of course, with little or no blemish. In recent times, judiciary in Nigeria has witnessed a lot of things that were not actually palatable. Example, the cases in Nigeria in the court have, they linger for a very long time. People therefore get remanded in correctional centers where they spend months and years without getting justice. Their cases will not be determined, and they keep staying there. We have had instances where a crime, a wrongdoing that should have constitutionally maximum prison term of 1 month, and people end up spending years in correctional centers simply because the judiciary system does not actually perform its function timely. We need a change, positive and sincere change. We've also seen where decisions made by Judges by the courts are not respected either by individuals, by corporates, and sadly and recently by the government itself. How worrisome can this be the more? We've had instances also where judges of the court, both Supreme and Appeal, get harassed by security agencies at their homes, invaded middle of the night, and all that. Okay, how independent is the judiciary in Nigeria actually? Because their budgets are still coming from the executive, both at the federal and state levels, and therefore they'll have to wait for funding before they can have their operations done. All these and more are reasons why it is no longer news to say that Nigerian judiciary needs reform. We've had cases of electoral matters that laid in the court for a very long time, even before and after a particular election is held. And so, a candidate who is in the office only to be informed by the court years later that he is not the right candidate. Elections are annulled, his swearing is annulled, and he's kicked off with another person brought in. What can we say and what do we expect? We would expect to change. Now, a common man on the streets hardly gets justice from the courts because, again, the judiciary system is not performing optimally and religiously at the right speed. You see why we need a reform? Now, having said this, we understand what reform means, and it has an objective: to deliver at its best potential. All right, let's go back a little to the history. In Anambra State, in the year 2003, an election was held, and a candidate was declared the winner and was sworn in subsequently. But for months that turned into 3 years, there was a court case lying before the court. And on the third year, actually, the Court of Appeal in Enugu took a decision and declared His Excellency Peter Obi the rightful winner of that election, and annulled the election and the government of His Excellency recently. Of course, we are used to saying His Excellency, but again, there are questions in some quarters whether he should be addressed as Excellency, being that his government was declared illegal by the court. Well, the focus is on Peter Obi. He was subsequently impeached by the Anambra State House of Assembly for reasons that he himself has also explained repeatedly in the media. But again, he went to the courts, and he was reinstated by the courts. On coming back months later, the election was held in Anambra State that brought Anguba into office as the governor. And in 40 days, again, Peter got judgment on the court where his tenure interpretation was done, making it the first time that the tenureship of the elected political office holder will be determined by the court. And that's how Nigeria got to have staggered election dates for different states, with Anambra State being the first. That in itself was a kind of reform, even though not right, but it played out. You see why? One would say the hand of God was in it. And with this, he went further to perform in such a way that the judiciary workers in Anambra State, who were owed months and months of salary, went into the streets subsequently, demonstrating and all that. But then the new government of Peter Obi set to work, and brought about that new breeze into the judiciary, where salaries are paid on time, where judiciary buildings were given good facelift, where judiciary judges and principal officers were given car allowance for the first time in the history of Anambra State. That had happened before. Of course, it wasn't only the judiciary workers and the judges. In the civil service also, permanent secretaries and the directors were also given official fares. What a man. All the three territorial districts in Anambra State had court, high courts, and he rebuilt all of them, renovated the old buildings and built new ones. We are still talking about judicial reform in Anambra State. You cannot talk of judicial reform in a country if the executive and the legislative arms of government do not obey the judgment of the court. It will be counterproductive. And so, Tueday, during his time as a governor of Anambra State, obeyed every judgment of the court and obtained the constitution. He never queried them in a way that is not approved by the law. For everything that needs to be determined, he would go to the court and seek legal interpretation. And that is a man who believes in the constitution that he has sworn to uphold and respect. Do you see that at the federal level currently? Answer for yourself. So, for Nigeria, while in search for a president that will be democratic in thinking and in action, we may not have the need to search any further, because there is a man who already has shown that he has respect for the constitution of the land and the judiciary and our courts and the verdicts. That is His Excellency Peter Obi. He has demonstrated it, and he continues to show his firm belief in the laws of the land. And he continues to show that judiciary workers actually should be encouraged in the best possible ways to perform their function. Okay, you have comments, you have questions, you have contributions. Please feel free to send these to any of our social media handles, and be sure that we'll read them and do justice to them. You can also indicate to join this live program so you can talk directly to Nigerians and tell us what you think about judicial reform vis-a-vis Tueday's disposition. Now, during the debate, you notice that the supporters of Ashwaju and Atiku were trying to veer off because, most likely, they had nothing to talk about their candidates when it comes to judicial reform. But Obedient had so much to say that the time given was not even enough to talk about it. I continue to talk about this. Come on, we might not get out of here today. But I have to hold you. It's even in net. You can Google it and entertain yourself better. P2B, judicial reform in Anambra State. What he did, providing logistics, providing support, empowering them in every possible way for speedy and just performance, that the common man experienced justice dispensation in a very timely time in Anambra State. All right. Talking about that, I want to ask Obina, what do you think about the desired change, or rather reform, in the judiciary in Nigeria? And how do you think that Peter will be as president come 2023 April, when he will be sworn in, because we know he's going to win? What do you think that he would do, especially when you look at cases, some cases that have been determined by the court and verdicts were given, and court gave directive For example, they said, let the federal government do this, and it hasn't been done. And the attorney general or commissioner for justice, but at the state level or federal level, goes to bring more count charge without even obeying the subsisting court order and its directive. What do you think about this? Over to you,
Thank you very much, Mr. Tilo. It's been so wonderful. You have been doing so much justice to the topic, the judicial reform. Uh, though we have a representative, Mr. Joseph, actually represented us in that debate up there in Daddy Freeze, and he did wonderfully well. He was able to
Yeah,
trash out the other members of the team.
yeah,
Speaking generally now, with the physical happenings in Nigeria, the judicial reform, as it would be when a principal comes into power, will be a correction of all the errors, total errors in the judicial system, which has been brought in by the previous government and the present ruling government in power in Nigeria. And to be honest with you, the judiciary has to stay independent of any kind of control. They do not need to be under the control of any kind of leader in in order for the judicial system to be counted as worthy or an integrity um, organization or establishment. This
mhm,
is the fact. Total independence will be restored, and our principal, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, will be doing wonderfully well to help to make sure that the judicial system is independent of their own decision in terms of selection of judges, Chief Justice of the Federation, and in terms of carrying out assignments as at maybe that is judging of cases without any interference from any government personnel. He is ready, and this is part of what he has already given out to us in his manifesto, that he
mm,
is going to be standing out to ensure that the entire Nigeria will be reformed, and judiciary happens to be a part of the Nigeria. He is going to create the impact in terms of the welfare of the judiciary. That is the lawyers. That is I'm talking about the barristers, the judges. If the judges are well paid and are paid up to standard, I'm sure a lot. Art,
exactly. If they are paid and on time, there is no doubt that they will be motivated to do their work very well. Job performance, okay, is a function of job satisfaction, which has a lot to do with remuneration, allowances, and all that. Okay, in Nigeria, as it is now, it's appalling to even mention that judiciary workers embark on protest for salary payment and all that. But soon, we will not be surprised to see situation where judiciary workers are protesting non-compliance and adherence to court orders and directives and verdicts. All right, because it's becoming too much, and if care is not taken, that will get out of hand. We need to start obeying the laws of the land. We need to start obeying the court decisions. We need to have respect for the court decisions in this country. Somebody will have to motivate that. Not only motivating it, somebody will have to start it and lead by example. And this is what P2B does. Of course, we know by now that this is a humble man. This is a very simple man. This is a man who believes in rule of law. Yes, he believes in equity, he believes in humanity, and he believes in rule of law. So as it is, we are talking about somebody who will have seen from his antecedents that he will actually obey the laws of the land. And not only that he will obey the laws of the land, he will work hard to ensure that judiciary is empowered and made to be independent, strong enough to administer justice in this country. All right. I did not mention to you that Tueday introduced in Anambra State what they called digital case filing, where cases are not just recorded manually, but they are digitalized such that case allocation, judges' appointment, and all that will be done with speed. That started in Anambra State. Okay. Judicial reform is a broad topic, very broad topic. And we have looked at it from the perspective of what Peter did naturally that showed hand of God in his life and his government as a governor of Anambra State, where he went to court and it took 3 years plus for him to get justice and reclaim his stolen mandate. And after that was impeached, he went to court again. And in months, he reclaimed his government and proved that his impeachment was illegal and, of course, held no warrant. Again, the election came. The same man quietly went to the court to seek interpretation of his tenure. And that has given hope and light to other governors in this state. That's what we mean when we say there is hand of God, his life, and his government. And as a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it's our firm belief that there will be hand of God in his government also. So this country is going to experience a very heartwarming judicial reform, where justice dispensation will be same for the old and young, for the rich, for the poor, for the affluent, and for the downtrodden. So expect that. Soon we are going to play one of our jingles to remind you that it is still Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati as presidential candidates and vice presidential candidates of Labour Party in the coming election to hold on the 25th of February. That is next month. So as the jingle is coming up, yes, my brother, go ahead.
Mr. Joseph is online. I just wanted to inform you.
Okay, Joseph is up. Yeah, it's good to have Mr. Joseph. Please, can you put your camera on so Nigerians will see you? We also would like to wish you a happy new year and thank you for that great outing. You actually schooled people during the last debate.
You guys, just 10 minutes. I'm driving, but in about 10 minutes time, I should be able to join you guys. I can contribute.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Good to hear from you. All right. While we wait for you to come up, we would like to play this jingle, and we encourage you, our viewers, to watch and listen attentively so you understand what Peter Obi is coming on board with as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ovina, please let the jingle come up now. And our viewers, remember, it is Labour Party and the logo is Papa, Mama, and Pikin. Of course, the abbreviation there is LP. So when you see LP, carefully comprint within the box without touching the lines, and you would have given your vote to Peter Obi. Your vote for a new Nigeria, your vote for your economic freedom, your vote for your empowerment, your vote for food security. Thank you very much, and please enjoy the jingle. Okay, while the jingle is coming up, please look at the screen. You will see our social media handles fully displayed. Do not forget to send your comments and suggestions so we can do justice to them. And on Saturday, that's next tomorrow, this program will come online again, okay? And it will be guest appearance. You are in for a treat this Saturday, so do not forget. The jingle up now, so we can have it.
Sorry, Mr. Attilo, which of the jingles are we bringing up first?
The one we played last time, Tueday is my president.
The documentary.
Yeah, the documentary. You can play that.
Because I have several other videos. Peter Obi and
Yeah, there are many of them, and even that's why we also appreciate.
Drama. I have several videos. Let me bring that. But there's is it this one? I have this one. Should we show this?
Okay.
Please.
Bring it on.
My father told me that they once called us the giant of Africa. And my father is not a lying man. But I don't know if I believe him anymore. Because nothing around me feels like the home of a giant. Ever increasing electricity tariffs, yet we generate our own power. We pay for roadworthiness on roads that are not worthy of our cars. We have a land blessed with so many natural resources, yet we import everything, even to speak. So many graduates, but no jobs. Our children will risk dying in the desert far away from home in search of green pastures, because anything is better than staying at home and facing the hardship and insecurity that has become our existence.
The Nigerian problem is the economy. Because people don't have means of livelihood, you push them into criminality.
But I hear the sound of hope in the horizon, because Nigeria is in labor, and this is the hour to band together from the north, east, south, and west, and push for the rebirth of the giant of Africa. Vote Tueday for president.
Yeah, that's it. That was Peter saying, when we don't do the right thing for our youth as our government, we push them into criminality. We don't create monsters and still cry that the monster is after us. You see, as leaders in this nation, we must begin to think how to prevent certain vices from taking place in our country. We should do more of proactive instead of reactive. Give them job, give them opportunity, even as you build their code, so you don't push them into criminality. Okay, that was the jingle. Of course, see the bad road, see young graduates who have no job to do and who still go to depend on their parents and guidance. Imagine what it is as a parent after spending so much on your children's education for years, with the hope that when they graduate, you pick up a job and ease your difficulties, only for them to come out and still remain in your house, one way or the other, becoming increased burdens to you. Both the male and the female are dependent on parents when they ought to be in one employment or the other. Imagine what parents go through. Imagine the young man, young lady who graduated from school have served the nation compulsorily for 1 year and is still unable to pick a job. The best the government in Nigeria did in the last 7-8 years was to give out stipends. Trader money, 5,000 naira. Is that for lunch? Is that for investment? Nothing is just nothing. And young graduates are there doing empower. For what fee? It's not even up to the minimum wage that can sustain anybody. So we need to create jobs. We need to look at agriculture. We need to look at ICT. We need to think deep and wide. And P2B continuously says what it means to turn the arable vast land in the north into the new oil for Nigeria. You know what that means? He talked about brain drain being turned into brain gain by investing in our education sector, making it work well so that we can export knowledge to go out there, work, and earn foreign exchange, and also come back in time to form with transfer of the knowledge that will help build this economy and make it stronger. That is what we are talking about. That is why we are working hard to ensure that come February next month, that we all vote for Peter Obi. And by that, we have made way for a change that is true, a change that is sincere, a change that is measurable. Are you going to be part of it? I believe you will.
Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided and void. We will take a stand and build our.
I would that jingle finishes up because it's an anthem that I'm so in love with. You could notice my hand on my chest. Please let that jingle play to the fullest. Let's make this pledge to our dear country, Nigeria. We'll take our stand in this coming election.
I'll be doing my best within this coming minutes to see I can get the full clip. Because
okay, I'm so excited. It's 2023 when we make that decision that will change this country. I am so excited. We've waited for this for too long.
Well, meanwhile, I have a short drama piece there that I'd like to show Nigerians.
Sorry, you may want to speak louder.
I said, meanwhile, there's a short drama piece I want Nigerians to see for a means of encouraging Nigerians to get their PVC. It's a short drama piece. It came in from Edo. It came in from Edo with that team.
Yeah, bring it on.
Abrama, where is the money I've been asking for? Where is the money?
When I made a comment, I know that I was not lying. I told you that, see, as the head of this family, as the head of this home, I have made my decision, and my decision is final. Have I not made it clear? Have I not made it clear to you that I will never give you anything money, or I will never give you money to cook any food in this house until you do what I ask you to do?
If I don't do what you ask me to do,
yes,
that is when you will give me money.
yes.
So if I don't get my PVC, you will not give me any money in this house.
Now, let me tell you. I want to know the people that are with me. I want to know the people that are with the country. I want to know the people that are against us and against the children. In fact, against the unborn, against the incoming generation. You have to get your PVC. In fact, let me now tell you, not that I'm not giving you money to cook in this house, but if I see you eating in my house without showing me your PVC, You now tell me who is the head of this family.
Apama, how does having a PVC in this house determine if you're going to give me money or not?
It must. It must. Yes. Because I want to fix everything. I want to see if we can restore the economy of the nation. I want to restore the insecurity. I want to restore bad economy. In fact, everything, no road, no job, even strike everywhere. I want to see if we can restore all these things. And that can be done through our collective effort by having our PVC.
There is no way you do. You're going to be in a big mess if you don't give me that money. Oh.
Now, let me tell you. There's no issue that I will see now that is bigger than a graduate who finish school and spend 7 good years without any job. There's no issue that you give to me now that as big as this country, somebody without generator cannot see light. There's no issue that you give to me that somebody will work for 30 days, even in the half day or in the half days of the next month, the salary never enter the person's purse. What kind of problem do you want to give to me now? Go to everywhere.
Apama.
Yes. What is going on here?
Papa, is it not Apama? I've been asking him for money for this and he has refused to give me money simply because he's asking me to go and get that PVC thing. What's PVC? How can he deprive me of money because of ordinary PVC? What will I use that thing for?
The only power you have now, you call it thing.
Ada, have you heard that the future of this nation is in the hands of the youths? Eh? You must try to get your PVC to vote out corruption, vote out unemployment, vote out incessant strike. That a student will go into the university, a course of 4 years, he will read it for 7 years. Eh? Vote out unnecessary bribery and corruption. Eh? Vote out the mess these politicians have cost this nation by voting in the right person. And how do you vote in the right person? Is by getting your PVC to vote out all these corrupt politicians. So Ada, go get your PVC. I'm for a meeting.
I'm not the only one saying it. Did you hear anything? Did you hear that advice? Go and get your PVC. I am busy.
Apama, if I get this PVC, I hope you're going to give me the money I'm asking for. Apama, provided I will get the money, I'm going to get my PVC.
Wow, this is so serious. The men are beginning to get it right. And I want the women to also get it right. The youth, everybody, the elderly, to get it right. Put out bad leaders. Put out hunger. Put out corruption. Put out insecurity. The only way to do that is to vote in the right leader, who is Peter Obi. And you can only do that with your PVC. Do it correctly. Refuse to be confused. Refuse to be distracted.
Or nothing.
It's either your PVC or nothing. So you must do it. And as you are doing yours, take somebody along. Let him also do his. Talk to everybody around you. Reach out to people living in your villages. Those who do not understand English, those who do not understand what is written, explain it to them. Play videos in your phone, show them live. You can do projection of images and videos. Do that. Talk to them. When you go to your office, evangelize. Okay. Do we have Joseph up? So
all right, so I join you guys briefly for now. I'm in the car with my kids, but now I'm stationed. I can speak for a few minutes.
Good. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, what was the question? I think you were trying to ask me a question. So.
Okay. Yes.
It's actually the review of the same topic you treated on Daddy Freeze. So you just
Okay.
help us to do a quick review, so that
Okay.
Nigerians restart can, pick and get the knowledge needed.
Valid.
Yes, thank you. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear.
Very well.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so like the topic we discussed on Tuesday was judicial, and interestingly, judicial. The topic was actually the APC people, but like I said during the live session, right? Judicial reform is just anything you do. It's as simple as that, which I try to put in legal perspective. Laws or actions or measures put in place to kind of help improve the process of dispensing. So any of the measures put in place that's going to help to improve the dispensing justice would be termed judicial reform. So it's not a close-end definition, because it covers a vast and like I said, judicial reform is something that is a continuous. What may be relevant today may not be relevant tomorrow, or may not. So we need to look at the system again, and I did that, and I then talked about several areas where it's been identified where we need judicial reform in this country urgently, like in the and promotion of judges, in the area of in the area of the time for dealing with cases, and so on and so forth. Go back, Brian. So I then talked about what Peter Obi's manifesto has provided. Three major areas. It talked about the appointment of. Now it had to deal on judicial aspect, because obviously it's coming as a president. So it talked about appointing more judges, because if we have more judges or divisions, right? So for instance, because when it comes to, let me give an example. We're just one federal high court, but you have several divisions. So you have federal high court, Abuja federal high court, Lagos division. It's just one federal high court, but various divisions, and court 1, court 2, court 3, and so on and so forth. So he said it's going to appoint a lot. So what that would do is that cases can then be, judges are attending to fewer cases, so the workload will greatly reduce, and that will help in fastening the process, utilizing the judiciary. Now that is good in speeding up cases, in the sense that you don't have to go through the manual processing, case filing, paying for services and stuff like that. Because what happens, because everything has to be paid, you go there and pay manually in the courts, in the process. And also the fees, sometimes there is no proper accountability, because people pay cash and stuff like that. So he said he's going to digitalize it. He then talked about one very important aspect, which I think I need to emphasize. Two very ensuring. Brian, go back. Just 1 minute, please. He talked about of the office of the special prosecutor of his prosecutorial office, which deals with executive rascality. So you discover that what usually happens is that jurisdiction, that I'm trying to break this in as close as I can not to use technical find where to so we are trying struggling to find where to replace the judicial jargon. So a special office that deals with prosecutive offenses that comes from the executive arm of government. That is, and then he said that powers begin, and then it's going to remove the jurisdiction of the attorney general, what we call a nolle prosecute. So let me explain what that means. A nolle prosecute means that a case going on, which is usually handled by, it doesn't matter, the attorney general can come in and say, oh, we are discontinuing this case, and any reason to do that. So let's say they are prosecuting the wife of a political person, right? The FCC, for instance, or the ICPC, or any attorney general can just come and say, listen, I'm ending this case. Nolle prosecute is in layman term. I'm ending this case, and it doesn't need to give. And it comes in and say, I'm ending this case. That is the end of it. EFCC cannot say anything. The prosecuting officer cannot say anything. Even if it's the police that's prosecuting, they cannot say anything, because the general, being the chief law officer of the country, being the chief law officer of the country, do that. But he's saying that this special council that is going to set up the power to enter and nolle prosecute. That's to say, you can prosecute people, political office holders, and political heavyweights will not have a say. Brian, will not have a say, which is very important. And then the second aspect he also talked about, he said, is going to ensure the separation. What we have today is that there is so much interference in the judiciary. I did mention something. I don't know if I mentioned it in live. I think I mentioned it when we mentioned it. You see a situation where governors buy cars for the judiciary. Right? The appointment of judges is by the recommendation of the council, right, and to be approved by the governor or the president. So the judiciary has independence, because if the governor or the president appointment, right, then most likely is going to want to appoint somebody is going to be loyal to them. And then also the fiscal judiciary, which you talk about. I'm talking about the finances now. Is the most influence. I've talked about where governors can buy cars. All those things should actually be from the executive arm of government. So the truth is that ensure real separation of power, all these issues has to be addressed. Though it is aimed to achieve, and then policies will put in place to ensure that these things are achieved. We went back to talk about that if you look at his track record and that of the APC today, the APC today, they've done, and the APC and the PDP past government, they've done nothing, absolutely nothing to ensure or to actually reform the judiciary. That's because they do not believe in justice and equity. And I did mention that any reform you want to do that does not end in the rule of law, that does not end in support equity and justice, is a waste of time, because that is the essence of the judiciary. Right now, I did mention that the reason why the APC and the PDP didn't reform the judiciary is because they do not believe in the rule of law. They do not believe in justice. They do not believe in equity. Say that the court will give judgment, and when the judgment is people, they don't tend to execute it, because the court is executed its judgment. because the police, the military, they are under the supervision of the executive arm of government. But the way it works in society, every proper society, when a court gives a judgment, the executive and enforce that judgment. So we've had two judgments that were against the Inspector General of Police and against the EFCC chairman. The judgments are they are products of contempt of court. No, if I'm going too far, if my time is up, please let me know. They are the product.
Okay, yeah. It's actually getting I think we have about 3-4 minutes to the end of the program, but you can start rounding up.
Okay, so the judgments are products of contempt. When we talk about contempt of court, in this particular instance, is the fact that the court gave a judgment was not enforced. The court gave a judgment against the police and against the judgment was not carried out. So because of that, they now commenced a contempt proceedings against the police and against the EFCC. And in that judgment, the both officers, the Inspector General and the EFCC chairman, but these were not also enforced. So that tells you that the current government of the day do not believe in the judiciary. So they are not going to do anything. Last point I want to mention, I also mentioned that the current APC government is a senior advocate of Nigeria. If the current Vice President Osibanjo cannot reform the judiciary, is it where you then have? Is it then that we're going to have judicial reform? Because we have Tinubu, who does not have Chetima, who does not even know his role, because by their own statement, many don't even know their what role Chetima going to NBA conference and saying that he's going to be in charge of security and in charge of the economy, which is totally wrong. The president is supposed to be the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, right? Why the vice president is the head of the economic council? So by that, it means that they don't even know their, So far so good. These people are confused. Where you have who cannot reform the judiciary, is it these people who do not even know their primary race we can trust to reform the judiciary? It's a no. Side of the of my submissions during the debate. I've just tried to summarize as much as I can.
Yes. Thank you, Joseph. Actually, the comments we had on that day, or rather that night, was really heartwarming. All the comments were heartwarming, really. People saw how well you did justice to the topic and practically turned the co-debaters into spectators or students. All right. You've said it all. Earlier in the program, I mentioned some things about the antecedent of Peter Obi as the governor of Anambra State vis-a-vis judicial reform in that state. Okay. And with that, I want to believe that our viewers and listeners have gotten a better understanding, a clearer picture of what judicial reform will be under Peter Obi as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is the first program we are having in the year 2022, and we are going to spice it up the more in the coming weeks prior to the election. Like we said, we are committed to keep you informed, to educate you concerning the coming presidential election and everything that has to do with the presidential campaign of Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati, the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party. Do not forget, on 25th of February, that's next month, you are going out there to your polling unit to cast your vote for Peter Obi, Labour Party. What you see that there is the activation LP, and of course the logo is Papa, Mama, and Pikin, all inside the circle that has a working bearing. Now, every new year people make a resolution. The common resolution for every Nigerian in this 2023, as the year begins, is that we pledge to pick our PVC, to go to our polling unit and cast our vote for Peter Obi of Labour Party. This should be a resolution that will be made by all and should be made by all, really. I am your good friend, a concerned Nigerian, and a non-apologetic, obedient Dochukwu. And it has been a very interesting session tonight with Team Peter Obi That Is Live. Join us every Tuesday night at 12 p.m. when we slug it out, and or rather when we school the supporters of Ashwaju and Atiku Abubakar. That's on Study Feeds Live. Join us there. On Thursdays like today at 9 p.m., you join us as we review the debate of the week. You can participate live, just indicate, and we will send you the link. You can also send your comments, your questions, and your suggestions via our various social media handles. And then on Saturday, we'll bring you our guests who will do justice to pressing questions. And we expect you to ask those questions now that you may get the right clarification. I thank you sincerely for joining us tonight, and I hope to see you again in 2 days to come. Thank you, and God bless you.
We don't tell for Egypt, Pharaoh, let my people go. They don't come again, no. Last if you check them, not the same people. Ladies and gentlemen, una never die for 3 cups of rice and 15 naira salt. The handwriting is crystal clear. Shine your eyes. We are tired of ASU strikes. 4 years course now, don't reach 6 years without carryover. Wahala, wahala, wahala. Many expensive certificates like this, they inside rats below. If you know, you know. 4 years course where you study. 15 years now, you never still get work. He come be like say school na scam when education is key. We don't need to go use the country, collect loan of small money. When one as the man they use do give away in the name of the country is broke. We never tired to see children begging and running around express roads in the name of working one shit or another. Too bad. Every pikin rich or poor suppose they entitled to free basic education. He get one gentleman wey go bring solutions to all these things once and for all. Who be that man again? Only one Peter Obi. This is the time. Get your PVCs ready. We are outside massively to push in the right candidate into the right position. Make we fit see right results abeg. Last whether they like it or not, is Peter Obi or nothing.